All right, with less than 10 minutes to the closing bell, I'm going to channel Tina Turner in the song You Better Be Good to Me, because that's essentially what they're saying in Alabama as workers at Amazon vote on unionizing. Dan Halley, you better be good to me. What do we know at this point?
Yes, this is the final day for votes to be cast for whether or not workers there want to join the union that is being formed. It's part of the retail, wholesale, and department store union. There's about 6,000 employees at this Bessemer, Alabama warehouse facility that are going to be participating in this vote. And essentially what we'll see is once this is completed, the parties, Amazon, as well as those who are seeking to unionize, will come together and look at the ballots. They'll determine which they want to be kept in, whether or not some envelopes are torn or not, and they'll set those aside, and they'll count the ones that they both agree should be kept in. And then if those outweigh the votes or the ballots that were put aside because of whatever niggling issues they may have had, then we'll be able to determine if Amazon's warehouse will be fully unionized. There was one effort, though it was a small one, for Amazon workers to unionize in the past. There's obviously been accusations of union busting on the part of Amazon. And so the workers want to see this pass, or at least those who want to join the union presumably want to see this passed. And they're really trying to seek things like better pay, better guidance as far as work conditions, things along those lines. And I think, one of the things that's interesting is if you look at the way some of these workers came on board, because this was a new warehouse, they came on while Amazon was still offering that $2 incentive for the hazard pay. And since then, that's come off. So they no longer have that. So while Amazon says it has that $15 minimum wage, yes, but these workers who started out now have seen their wages fall as they've stayed with the company longer. So it'll be interesting to see how this goes. But if it does actually pass and they do end up unionizing, it could be kind of a kind of clarion bell almost for other efforts to unionize within Amazon from other warehouses and potentially even additional areas, think drivers, things along those lines.
Yeah, Dan, it certainly could have major implications for how Amazon handles all of its thousands of frontline workers. But real quick, one, I guess, how long do we expect this to take, just the counting of votes? Because it sounds pretty complex just in terms of we have to determine what votes they are counting, which ones they're not counting. And then also, I'm curious just to get your thoughts just on what we've seen play out on Twitter with Amazon workers who are against this, kind of going after some of the tweets from Senator Bernie Sanders, Senator Elizabeth Warren over the weekend, and exactly what that reflects just in terms of Amazon's culture, too.
Yeah, so as far as the votes, it could take a few days, specifically because they have to go through all of these envelopes and, see yes, no. And then if there's the determination that they need to look at the votes that were set aside, then they'll have to go into there as well. So it could take some time. As far as Amazon's antics on Twitter, my goodness, it's a terrible time for them to be doing something along those lines. We talk about instances of workers having to urinate into bottles. There has been evidence of that. Some of those photos were actually shared online, despite Amazon saying in a tweet, "Oh, you actually believed that?" Well, it turns out that, yes, a lot of people did because it happened. There were also instances of some drivers having to relieve themselves in other ways in bags because they were trying to meet their routing destinations. And obviously, there's been discussions on the physical toll that the warehouse jobs take on workers, the time on task and time not on task, things along those lines have really become a sticking point. So whether or not they unionize, I think this is going to be a big deal for Amazon and the workers well into the future.
Dan Halley, thank you very much.